fighter I ever fought, the best fighter I ever fought probably was Manny Pacquiao. Because of his movement.
But you made it look easy.
But he's a hell of a fighter, and I can see why he won so many fights, and I can see why he's going down as a Hall of Famer. It's just certain moves that he made.
Wow.
But the roughest fighter probably was...
Those are the words of Floyd Money Mayweather, as he admits that the best fighter he's ever fought was Manny Pacquiao. And, you know, it took years for these guys, for that fight to develop. You know, the back and forths, the promotional companies, the promotions, the promoters, the clash of personalities. Everything was a factor. The money, everything that possibly could have been a factor was a factor of getting that fight done. Listen, it's guys that I used to talk boxing with that died waiting for that fight. Okay, literally like waiting for a fight, and then they weren't around by the time the fight actually went down. Bars. You know, and it was crazy. And when that fight happened, I noticed, and if you notice, Floyd fought a strategic defensive way of beating Manny, because he knew fighting someone like Manny Pacquiao is certain things you do and certain things you don't. As De La Hoya, as Ricky Hatton, as Sugar Shane. There's type of things that you should never try to do with Manny Pacquiao. And in fact, look at Sugar Shane, for example. Sugar Shane was a guy that was running from Manny Pacquiao after the 9th round because he didn't want any more of that smoke. Okay, I forget when he went down, but he was dropped eventually with a hard left hand. Put him flat on his side. Okay, this is Sugar Shane Mosley, a guy that is tough as they come again. All this fight went down. Floyd did not engage. He pop-shotted. He made his points. Whenever Manny tried to engage with some Tasmanian devil style combinations, he wrapped him up. He did the smartest, most pragmatic thing. Hey, I'm going to tie him up, you know, smother the assault, break, reset, repeat the process. That's what Floyd did. Now, Floyd tried to come on in the later rounds just to ensure the judges wouldn't, you know, try to snub him. You know what I mean? But he definitely did what he had to do. He did what was necessary to win the fight. That's what Floyd does. He wins. Now, after the fight, of course, we've seen the backlash of, you know, the shoulder injury and this, that, and the other. But there was no rematch. And I noticed something about Floyd. If Floyd fights a pretty challenging fight, like the De La Hoya fight, there was no rematch for that. So, but if he does, normally it's a one-shot deal, and that's exactly how he wanted it, and that's how it happened. There were rumors to fight in late 2018, turning into 19, but that didn't happen now, did it? No. He just wanted Manny to sign his banner, which Manny did, thinking he was going to fight Mayweather again. But you also notice the respect that Floyd gives him now. Now, I don't know if that necessarily has to do with the fact that Manny's still fighting worthy opponents, worthy champions, worthy young, hungry fighters. Manny's still attempting to do that. You know, even though he announces a retirement after the Mikey Garcia fight, which I'm fine and dandy with, I'm glad he's getting out of the game. And I hope he keeps everything intact. I hope he didn't sustain too much damage, you know, to his brain. Okay, so that would be sad if he did. I don't want to see a Filipino talking Rocky Balboa style Manny Pacquiao. I don't. That's the saddest thing that could ever happen to boxers besides death. Okay. That may have something to do with it, but Floyd does understand and respect fighters for what they are, and then you can tell he respects Manny Pacquiao. Why? Because he went to the Jesse Vargas fight after he beat Pacquiao. He went to the Adrian Broner fight after he beat, Manny Pacquiao. These are all after Floyd fought him, and Floyd was there. So not only did Floyd become a spectator, he also became a fan. I understood he was a promoter before you guys start, but he didn't have to be there. Because before he fought Manny Pacquiao, he didn't show up in Manny Pacquiao fights. He wouldn't even admit to seeing a fight of Manny Pacquiao. So it's just very surprising and refreshing to hear Mayweather talk about Manny in that way. So he's definitely saying, if I'm number one, that's definitely number two on the people that is on my resume, and you are your resume, right? So I thought it was very interesting to share with you guys how Mayweather felt about his toughest opponent, or should I say best opponent, not toughest, because his toughest was, needless to say, was the drunken master, Emmanuel Augustus, or Emmanuel Burton, which he used to be called, okay? You know, shouts out to him. And anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Floyd Mayweather saying that Manny Pacquiao is the best fighter that he's ever fought. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.